Welcome to the conversation. I'm Sid.
I'm Twin.
Let's
conversate.
Today we have two special guests. We have Venise.
Hello.
And we have Tally.
Hey. So we wanted to bring to the table today autism awareness, because a lot of people don't have awareness about autism. So we brought Tally and Venise here to talk about the myism movement. So Tally, we want you to start. Let us know.
So I have a son that has autism, and all autistic children are different. So I came up with the concept of myism because it's his ism. We're talking about for him because they all have different personalities.
Right.
They all on different parts of the spectrum. So that's why it's myism for him.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's a movement. And I write children's books, and I'm coming out with T-shirts. Well, we'll have the T-shirt. The launch just dropped.
You showing a picture.
And so I have it so that he can wear it in the street. It says Autism Awareness on the back, and all of the shirts will say different things as the line drops, and you get different types of shirts.
Oh, that's cool.
It says different types of things on the back, and it gives people, it lets people know that there's someone in a room that has a disability. So
Right.
the staring can stop.
Right.
It's like annoying. Everybody's staring, kids are staring, nobody's correcting the children, the adults are just staring, and it just makes people feel uncomfortable.
Right.
So I hate to kind of label him. It's like he has on a name tag, but I wanted to do it in a cool, fashionable type of way.
But I think that's so cool because, like you said, people don't know. People stare, they talk behind your back. Next you know, they like, you see that person over there, like look at that kid or look at that mother, like
fighting
words, right?
I
don't really know what's
And it's true because we seen something on Facebook. Somebody posted on Instagram. They was on a train. They seen a parent with a kid. He had a leash on his arm. Basically, she was like walking him, and it wasn't so much of maybe she just I don't know how to explain it, but like she's treating him like a dog. But no, you don't know what could have been going on in her life where she needed to do that. So
I mean, I get it, but a leash? Like,
never
it's
know.
not
Actually,
leashes
called a
on
harness.
animals.
Right, it's a harness.
Okay.
They sell in Toys R Us, children's
R Us?
stores. Children's stores.
Oh, okay.
They do.
Okay.
And they put them on them to
For
team
what
them on.
reasons?
Not so since we're talking about children with autism, I work with them, and we had a student who had issues with his bones, so they would pop out.
wow.
So if you touched him the wrong way, or you had to grab him, he was a runner. So his mom bought him a harness. It was on his IEP. It was a doctor's prescription, saying that he needed that.
But see,
So
that's
looking the outside in, it looks bad, but sometimes it's to
never
protect
know.
the child. Sometimes children, they're runners.
Yeah.
Look at the little boy Avante, who he was a runner.
Ran
He
out
went
to school, yeah.
and he wound up drowning.
Right.
But I think stuff like that should be in school policy. There should definitely things like that because people need to know.
And not for nothing, Venise, thank you for that. That was very informative because
Mm-hmm.
I'm one that'll be like, why they got a leash on the kid? Like, that's not right.
And that's what the guy did.
Right. They actually wanted to put my son in a harness because when he turned 17, he started attacking me in a car. So they was putting a harness on him, and it buckles to the back of the seat so that he can't reach forward. And so it straps him and it keeps him to the back so that he can't attack me while I'm driving the car.
Which is good because you don't want to crash.
Right, right.
But the problem with that was I couldn't get him in the harness.
Oh.
He was fighting before I got the harness on him. So
It's different when it's a younger
Yeah.
kid
Right,
from a
'cause
17, 18-year-old.
Yeah.
And they're bigger, they stronger.
They're very strong.
They no.
Oh,
And-
they are extremely strong.
And they not, people look at them like they don't understand. They do understand. They know what's going on.
Everything.
There's
Different
different
spectrums.
Right.
Different spectrums, So you have there's so many spectrums of autism. You have some that just have social skills.
Right.
So they don't have eye contact.
Right.
You have
right.
some that is very, very intelligent just in one subject.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of autistic children are intelligent.
Very.
Very.
And it just goes with people who don't have disabilities. We can be smarter in one thing and not so smart at another. It's the same thing.
Is it something that he loves to do that
He loves music.
Aww.
And he knows how to play the piano. He plays it fluently.
Oh my God.
He doesn't know how to read music, but he can play.
That's amazing.
But he will play when he wants to play. He doesn't put on a show. So if people are watching him, you'll never hear him.
Oh, okay.
So if he's in the back room, he'll play. And you're like, wait, that's him?
That's so cute.
Anything
You
he
gotta
hears,
record him.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
He
amazing.
sings and all that type of stuff.
That's really
Love
good because
music.
you know people. I think it do need to be more awareness on it. Like you said, it shouldn't be just a month.
Right.
It should be
It shouldn't just a month. Right.
365 days.
Exactly. Yep.
People need to be more aware. Like
Especially now because more children are being diagnosed
Exactly.
right,
with autism.
right.
You know,
And that's the problem with the services. Like, there's not too many people who are aware. Like one time, me and my son was getting into something where he didn't want to hold my hand crossing the street. He's 17, so he thinks he's older now. He's a big boy. He went across the street without holding his mother's hand.
Right.
You know, and I'm trying to hold his hand because he doesn't know the concept of looking
gonna
both
be
ways.
dangerous.
Yeah, the car's
Exactly,
coming
gonna be
with him.
danger. So he wants to fight me because he doesn't want to hold my hand. He's like, I'm big, I don't hold your hand.
Right.
But you can't. You have to hold my hand crossing the street, you know? So it's just different because you have him wanting to be a big boy and do things on his own. It's like he's kind of trapped inside of himself. Like he knows he wants to do things on his own, but he can't. You know what I'm saying? So it gets hard. So anyways, we're on a corner and we're kind of like, I'm giving you a hand. He's no. And the cops walk up on us. And you have somebody across the street recording us.
Oh my God.
Really?
Like if I'm abusing him.
Oh,
so it
no.
gets looked at in a whole different way. So the cops come over, they approach me, hey, get off of him. And I'm like, no, if I get off of him, he's gonna run into the street and he's gonna get hit. So one cop is screaming at me, one cop is kind of looking like, I'm like, my son has autism. He's blind in one eye, he does not. So it's one cop,
Did they back off when you said that?
well, the one cop did. He was like, oh, okay. And the other cop's like, what kind of mother? He's ranting and raving.
Really? No.
So then the other one cop had to say, oh, he has a disability to kind of calm him down.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then the lady across the street who's recording the whole thing, thinking something about to jump off, she kind of like put her phone down like, oh, okay, you know, he
But
has
I
a
feel like
problem.
it shouldn't get that way. It should never get that way.
Yeah.
You know, like
At the end of the day, mind your business, lady.
you know,
And to the
Or
cops,
come and help.
Or come and help.
Something.
Right.
You know what I'm
Instead
saying?
of
People
record
record,
acts, you
and
need
they want
help.
to record waiting for something to jump off. It's like I'm struggling with a 17-year-old who's bigger than me. I don't want him to get hit by a car, but you're in the corner recording.
Here's the thing: a lot
Come
of
help.
people are not educated on children with special
But that's
needs.
why we came with the idea to do this podcast.
Exactly.
Like, let's make awareness about it. Like, get the word out there. Like, instead of judging and looking at somebody like they whooping their kid's ass or holding too tight and being too aggressive,
Right.
think in the back of your mind,
She's trying
wait
to,
a minute.
He's trying to protect that
This
child.
kid could have a disability, and this is why the parent is doing that. You know, like no parent would just be doing that just for no reason in the street.
Exactly.
So-
Definitely not in the street.
Right, not in the street.
Right.
So if it comes down to like in the street, y'all know what it is.
Exactly.
Like think about it. Like don't film it and put it on social media like, oh, parents this and this and you
It's
never
quick to judge.
know.
So
It's very
quick to judge.
Until you're in those shoes.
Right.
Yes,
Until you're
yes,
in
yes,
those
Nobody
shoes.
can step in
yes,
those shoes.
yes.
Very
Them
hard.
shoes is very hard.
Oh, it is.
I
can
sleep with
imagine.
them 6 hours and a half a day, and it's difficult for me.
Yes.
You know,
I hear the
good
stories.
days, I have
Yeah,
bad
bad
days. You know, so just
But
as a parent,
You know what
having
it
to
is?
deal
If
with
you,
that.
You literally have a child who wakes up and every day you have a different child. You don't know who you're waking up to the next
Okay.
morning.
Okay.
So one morning you wake up and you have this child that's like just gonna do what he has to do. He's gonna get in the shower for you. He's gonna brush his teeth. He's gonna get dressed. He's ready to go to school. And the next day you have somebody that doesn't want to go to school. Then the next day you have somebody that's gonna tear your apartment up. Then
Right.
you have somebody who wants to eat one thing. It's so every day when you wake up, it's kind of like
Yeah,
like,
like
who are you today?
today? Yeah,
You know
who
what I
are you
mean?
today? And that's hard and it's
very hard to
difficult because that's like you don't want to have to go through that, but it's this is what you have to deal with, and I think people should never judge someone no matter no
And
matter what they see.
There's no manual. So you
Right.
I'm just pretty much winging it day by day.
And like you said,
You know
it's
what I'm
different spectrums. One kid
Exactly.
may be this way, one kid may be another way. Like you just never know.
And even though you say people shouldn't judge, that's
They
just
judge.
people.
They
That's
will
just,
judge. Yeah,
that-
they're gonna
it's
do
just,
it.
yeah.
They're gonna do it.
Yeah.
But you have to know when there's someone that does not really blend in with the rest of society.
I mean,
Right.
it should be obvious, you know? Like, come on. If you really, if you
It's
got enough
obvious
time
to
to
a
take out a
person
phone and
who's
record,
educated.
Yeah,
that
but
means you're paying
it's
attention.
right. It's
Right.
obvious to a person that's
because when I'm in the
educated.
street,
Right.
So, what are some ways that you can pretty much point out if a child is autistic? What are some of the signs that people should be aware of? By sight.
Both
By
of y'all.
sight. Both of y'all.
Toe walking.
Say that again.
Toe walking.
Walking on your
Toe
toes.
walking. Oh, okay.
That's a sign of brain damage, like a
Yes.
form of brain damage.
It
Like
definitely
that's
is.
Okay.
Yeah. So it doesn't have to always be autism with that, but it can have something to do with the brain and you know,
stimming.
Look at y'all said at the same
What's
time.
stimming?
What's
that?
stimming? Yeah.
Stimming, sometimes like we have kids, like I have a student and he flaps a lot. Stimming, playing with stuff, like just tapping,
Okay.
like
Right.
anything
just
just,
feeling their fingers
that's
in their
not
hand, just flapping their hands,
the
looking at their
ordinary.
hands. Yeah.
Okay.
no eye contact is like
And
number
pica.
one. Pica,
What's pica?
eating things that don't
Just
go in your
eating.
mouth.
Right.
Okay.
So
It's
if
not
you had a
supposed to
toddler,
go
they'll
in.
eat anything. Like a toddler will be around your house eating stuff.
Mhm.
You'll see a 17-year-old just eating toilet tissue or eating this. Isaiah, my son, he'll drink the water bottle and the first thing he does is peel the wrapper off and that's in his mouth, chewing it like gum. Then he'll chew the top.
okay.
Then he'll set the bottle. So it's like constantly chewing on different things and that's just
So can-
keeps him calm.
Oh, okay. It keeps them calm. I was just about to ask that. So why do they do
It's like a
that?
bad habit.
In
Okay.
the speech.
Okay.
Because at
Right.
a certain age, so
Yeah.
like we have minimum speech, we have no language, then we
Right.
have language.
Okay.
So like there's different spectrums,
Right.
you know. It's
My son has speech, but he doesn't communicate. He's
he has
like
minimum.
Okay. So I'm glad you asked that question, Cindy,
Yeah.
because you know that is signs like this is what you should look out for.
Mm-hmm.
If you on the train, if you know walking down the street and you see someone struggling with their kid, like don't stop judging people and think
Not
about
ask somebody, do they want some help? Like,
Right,
are you okay?
right.
Do you need any help? 'Cause
Right.
we really feel like we're alone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like nobody asks us, do you need any help? They just kind of look and stare.
Right,
You know,
and
so
it's
you're like all on your own with
Right.
this child. You know what I'm saying?
Coming from that field, I kind of like when I first started, many years ago, like I was like, oh, I don't think I can do this. But the more and more I work with them, the more and more I'm like, I commend parents.
right
I
because
commend
they
them.
deal
I'm
with
like,
it a lot
because
every day,
they-
24/7.
You have different spectrums. You have children that's really aggressive that will really try to hurt you.
Oh yeah.
You know, headbutt you, bite you, scratch you up, go for your face. Then you
Yeah.
have the sweet little ones that's just like, will never
But
like,
they will flip out.
they have their days.
Yeah, like
Then
you
you
said,
have
they
the ones
wake
that's
up.
every single day.
Right.
Wow.
You know, and then I commend parents who have that every single day and still keep their child home and not put them in a residential
Right.
or like in a day treatment program.
I was just about to say that, like,
because
when it
it's
gets to a point where you can't handle it no more, like, what do you do?
you don't
Yeah,
want to.
you don't want
You
to.
don't want to put them
No.
away because then nobody's gonna take care of that child
The way you would take care of
I
that
see it
child.
every day.
It's true.
I see it
It's
every day.
hard.
Like me, when I go to work, I think as a mother first.
And we should all
Everybody
think
at
that
work
way.
Don't think as, what if that was my child?
Right.
Because you know
Everybody
why?
does not
Because
think
people
that.
is there just to get a check.
Right.
You're
So I
right.
feel like if you don't want to work with autistic kids in the school, don't apply for that school.
Right.
Apply because
Yeah.
at the end
It
of
is
the
not
day,
for
they
you.
need that help.
They need it.
You definitely
They need that
They
help.
need it.
That you, the teachers is there to help.
And that's one thing autistic children can pick up. They can pick up if someone's frustrated. They can pick up if you don't like them because they'll start doing stuff to you.
Yeah.
Wow. They won't want to go to
Yes.
school because of you. And then you're like, because even if they don't have the language, like my son, he can't communicate with me.
Right. So.
So if he gets on the school bus every day, fine. All of a sudden he doesn't want to get on the school bus. What's happening?
I
Something
Right.
at
told,
school.
I told Tally, I said,
Yeah, she was like,
somebody's
somebody's
doing something to
your
him on
son.
the bus. I said, because they don't just not want to go. There's
right. It's something
Either
going
it could
on.
be maybe the person's yelling at them because some of them don't like yelling.
Mhm.
That triggers their
Right.
behaviors.
Right.
It could be they sense, they know.
Mm-hmm.
They know who loves them and who really nourished them and
Yeah,
cared for them.
right,
right.
And they know the people
Because
who
they
really
still
don't,
human
you
beings.
know?
Like they still human. They still got.
They have feelings.
sense.
And that's
Yeah.
what
know
we
what
need
they
to
want.
focus on. They're still human.
Exactly.
Even though they might have a disability, they are human.
Right.
They have feelings,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to treat them
And it's all
accordingly.
about having
Right.
patience.
That's so true.
Definitely.
It's
It's
all about
patience.
having patience because again, like Tally said, you're not gonna have the same person every day.
Mhm.
I have 8 kids in my class, and believe me, every day is different behaviors.
Yeah.
Some days it's like, whoa.
And it can be a
Okay,
lot.
good.
That's a
And
lot.
some days it's like, woo, I need to go.
Must
out.
be.
I'm like,
That's
you
why I
know,
get that margarita.
Right.
You know, but
Get
I
the mix
never,
out.
But I never show them. I never show because lot of times children with special needs come with more than one disability.
Right,
People don't know that.
right.
I just
Like,
learned
oh,
that. I just
they're
actually learned
autistic.
that.
Sometimes
Right.
they can be autistic with ADHD.
But this is what I'm saying, like,
Someone
you
can
see
be
how
autistic
you
with
have a
ADD.
I
child
have a
with that
question.
and you just learned that. Like, it's always something new with it.
If you're not learning
So-
something new every day, then you're doing something
Right,
wrong.
right,
Seriously.
right.
So I have a question. What is the difference between autism and ADHD?
So ADHD, they hyper.
Why?
Okay.
They're really, really hyper. They can't sit. So what we do, we work with him. You know, first of all, every child has an IEP. It's that he needs to have every 30 minutes a break.
Okay.
So we have a massage. We made up a chart for him. Every child who needs it has a different chart that fits them.
Right.
Everybody don't have the same chart. And he requests the stretch. We have the stretch carrot. We can
Okay.
squeeze it, stretch it. We have the calm down corner, the carpet. We can lay down, relax. You know,
They
or
love
just
pressure.
squeeze. They like to be squeezed.
Oh, really?
Love pressure.
So I squeeze them sometimes. Sometimes he said, Miss Venise, can you just
Wow.
squeeze me and give me a hug? You
Aww.
know, I squeeze him. and
You work with younger kids.
I work with 3rd and 4th graders.
Okay.
But I've worked with the babies. I work with the older ones.
She works with my
I
son
work
in the
with
morning.
Yeah, but I'm about to say y'all best friends,
So
right?
we
Y'all
too,
best
yeah,
friends.
really
So
close.
you help her out, and I know
Yes.
you talk to her son sometimes
Yes.
on the phone.
Yes. Yes.
FaceTime in the morning. I'm like,
I'm like, be nice, mommy. Be nice.
Yeah.
You know,
and he listens to her.
Yeah, I would say that
Calms
too.
him-
That
calms
is
him
great.
down.
Yes.
And that goes to show you are the perfect person to be working with those type of kids.
I
Like,
love it.
you
Yes.
can't just have anybody
Right.
working with
I
those type
you
of
know,
kids.
I
I
get
think,
sentimental when it comes to
I think
love
when it
that.
comes
Denise
to-
does love her children.
yeah, and I think when it
swear she
comes,
does.
yeah, right. Because I love it. I'm like, you need to. I keep telling
Open in
you.
school.
Yeah.
Go back to school. You need to be the one teaching all the teachers what
How
to
to do
do
things.
and how to run their
A lot of
classroom.
times at work, like people get upset and they're like, "Oh, you're too compassionate." I'm like,
No.
But
What?
you're supposed to be
First.
compassionate with your
I'm
job.
like, I'm
You're
almost
supposed to
But
be
if you're
Yes.
not
compassionate.
compassionate about
That's
your
not
job,
the job
if you do
for
not
you.
love your job,
Yes.
it is not for you people.
No, absolutely.
Those are people that come in with attitude every day.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's
Making
right.
everybody else's life miserable.
Yes.
Resign, quit, go on to something else, please.
We don't need it.
Right.
We need
Don't
that.
want it.
Don't.
You give them the
Everyone
eye
just tell like, listen, like, you know, you
These are
complain it's
children.
a job.
They don't understand.
Don't be here. Like,
And the children, and they don't understand.
Yeah.
So you have to have the patience for them.
yes.
You
Alright.
definitely have to have patience, or
So I
It's
want to
not gonna
ask some
work.
questions, and you
Sure.
know that's gonna wrap up our show. But
Okay.
before we go on, well, I'm gonna start with Tally
Okay.
with the questions. So Tally, the first question is, did the doctors tell you while you were pregnant they see signs of your baby having autism? Or I know it's a test that you have to
the
take.
ambulance test.
Mhm.
Yeah. No. Actually, when I was pregnant, they seen signs for sickle cell disease because
Oh.
I have the trait and his father has the trait. So two
Wow.
traits make a sickle cell.
Right.
So I had to get the ambulances test done to see if he was going to be sickle cell disease.
Right.
Well, before the results could come back, I ended up having my son
Wow.
before the results came back early because, you know, with that test, it punctures a hole into the sac. He actually ripped through the sac.
It's a,
Yeah.
it's a possibility.
Yep.
Oh, they
Does
test
it
one
go
of the-
through your
that's
belly
one-
button? Correct.
It goes like right above, but it goes
Okay.
through the amniotic sac and then
They drain.
they drain like
Fluid.
baby
Oh,
fluid
okay.
and then so it punctured a hole. He came through the hole and I had him early, 23 weeks.
Wow.
So with that, we knew he was going to be delayed from the prematurity. He was a 23
Right.
weeker, 1
Right.
pound, 1 ounce.
Wow.
So we knew he was going to be delayed.
Right.
So when he started, you know, developing and growing up, something just wasn't right.
Mhm.
So I'm like, what's going on with my baby, you know?
Right.
But I knew he was going to be delayed. But as they said, by the time he's 2.5,
Yeah, it'll
he
catch
should
up.
catch up.
Right.
2.5, he's still not catching up. He's still not talking. He's not pointing. He's not doing like up. Like none of this wasn't doing any of those things. So we ended up taking him to the hospital and getting him evaluated. And then that's when we found out that he had autism.
Okay.
We had no idea what autism was. So we like, cause I kind of thought he had OCD as he was getting older. I'm like, he got OCD, color coordinating things, like what's going on?
Oh.
But then they told us he had autism.
Okay.
And then it's like, what's that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, second question. So how did you prepare to handle, you know, when you found out about his autism? Like, how did you prepare to handle that? How old was he?
Well, when they diagnosed him with autism, he was 3.5, 4.
Okay.
And I didn't prepare. I didn't know what to do. I just started talking to his pediatrician, and she started sending me to different specialists, and then they ended up getting him into like an early intervention program, and he was coming into the home and working with him, and then they got him into like a day to school. They got him into school. So, and from there I just kind of winged everything. You know, there's no manual. I was just being a mother.
Right,
You know,
right.
and
It
then
ain't
as
no
things
manual.
came at me, I just came up
And you asked questions,
right, and I
probably.
became creative. And not only that, I used to teach, so I'm trying to teach him the way I taught other children, and it wasn't working.
It's not the same.
Oh,
He actually ended up teaching me. You know what I mean? So, you know, I'm trying to teach him, and he's showing me, oh no, this is how I do. You know what I mean? So I had to kind of step into his world. You know what I
right.
mean?
And that's what it is. You're stepping into his world. You have to, yeah.
Yeah. So with that, I just kind of like, you know, we bounce off each other.
And that's
And
why
just
I
make it
love
work.
your phrase, mytism.
Myism.
Right.
Myism. Everybody has their own problems, and
Right.
It's
and-
different spectrums.
Right.
Everyone,
man.
every child that's diagnosed with autism is not the
It's
same.
not the same.
No,
You can't treat
absolutely not.
everyone the same.
No.
All right. So the third question: the hardest moment or moments you've been through, like, 'cause your son is 18 now. Like, so, like, what was the hardest thing you've been through with him?
So many.
Aww.
So many.
But something that jumps at you, like, right now that you're
Like, it actually right now.
Mm-hmm.
He turned 17, and his hormones kicked in, and he wants a girlfriend. He wants to have relations with women, and he can't. And I seem to be the cop blocker because he goes after women in the street, and I have to hold him back. So it's like I'm stopping him from getting what he wants.
He wants.
You know what I mean? So he's been attacking me, fighting me, and I have to call Venise sometimes to calm him down. You know,
Right.
and he started fighting me. He's strong. He's
Right.
bigger than me. I'm like, I can't handle my son. Like, what's going on?
Yes.
Any mark, any
Right,
bruise,
right.
ACS
That's-
is coming in,
yeah.
and I don't need all that. You know what I
Right.
mean? So it's like you gotta like
You gotta choose
watch
your
the way you're
battles.
exactly. You have to choose your
It's
battles.
it's hard again, like how you said, like a lot of people's not educated with autism. One, their hormones is triple the amount of an adult.
Exactly.
What we do is we sit with the counselor and we make a BIP. It's a behavior intervention plan. And
Okay.
we show them pictures and teach them this is where you need to be going into the bathroom. Because you like sometimes, like you say, he gets frustrated, and I've had spoke to Tally about this, is that you can't stop him from getting off. He's human.
Right.
He
Oh, yeah,
has
they told me that.
he wants to get off.
Right. So
what
teach
you
him.
can do is
That's right.
teach him.
Teach him what to
You
do
have
and
to
how to
teach
do
him
it.
to go. This is your space where you need to go.
Right.
You know, you can't do it in the public. You have to show them pictures. You close the door, steps, and that's just that. Some people may look at it like, oh, it's nasty.
No, but that's normal.
He's
It's
normal kids do it.
18.
Right. And that's what they said.
He's
Said
an
that's
adult.
what
He's a
they
young
said.
adult.
Right.
That's what they do.
And that's what kids do.
Yeah.
Right.
So why
At
is it
10, you're
different
like,
because he has special needs? Why is it different for him?
Right.
It's not different for us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
the last question will be why you decided to come out with Myism movement.
Okay. Well, for years I've been writing children's books, and when I had him, I don't really do journals, but I like to jot things down. I used to be into the music thing and writing rhymes and poetry and all that. And when I had him, instead of me writing a journal, I just started writing children's books.
Right.
And I was writing what I was going through with him.
Okay.
And as he started getting older, I continued to do that. So now I have all these children's books, and I didn't know how to introduce it to the world. So I said, you know what? I'm going to come up with the clothing line. I'm going to start with T-shirts first,
Yeah, get the
and to get it out there.
Right.
He has autism. You know, the movement is myism, and start getting people to focus on that. And then I'm going to slide the children's books out. And they kind of connect with each other. They go hand in hand with it. And everything is authentic. Everything is real. It's all about him. It's what I've seen. It's what he said. It's what I learned. It's what we went through as a team. Because it's like he has autism and he's trapped inside his own self. But I connect with him. I understand.
Right.
Because I'm raising him.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I get what he wants. I understand him. So it's like I'm putting that into books too. And I'm putting that out there. Kind of like his voice.
Right.
You know what I
Right. Mm-hmm. All right, so Venise, we have a couple of questions for you. We got a couple of minutes left. So, do you find it hard working with autistic kids? Because you know you work with the children.
Like I said earlier, I've been doing it for like 19 plus years. So you have your days where it's difficult. You have your days where it's easy. I have 8 kids in my class, and then maybe 1 or 2 that give a problem, and then the rest is just like calm. You know, so it's. I mean, you have your days.
Depends.
It's not always easy. It depends on the day of the child.
Do you find it hard dealing with the parents? Are the parents helping? Are they not helping?
So we have a lot of parents who like are involved, but then we have parents who kind of feel bad that their child have this disability. So instead of helping them, they're making the situation worse. You know, like to me, I personally think treating the ones that can be treated as normal as possible can help them improve.
Right.
I work on the 8 1-to-1. Obviously, that's still on a different spectrum from like 6 1-to-1. You know, like my class is standardized. When I say standardized, people's like standardized. They have a disability. That doesn't mean that they can't take the New York State exam.
Right.
We're not gonna always be there for them. They need to
set them up.
They need to be able to survive in this cold world by themselves. So we teach them everyday living skills. A lot of times they learn in early intervention, and then we pick up from early intervention.
Okay.
And we carry that throughout, like from K through 5. And we move on to 6 to 8. You know.
Okay. So you know, I think you know definitely we gotta speak about this again. Like this definitely is a part.
It's not only an April thing.
Yeah, it's not only an April thing.
It's an everyday thing because all children are being diagnosed.
Right, so it's an everyday thing. Please, you guys, tune in, watch this episode, comment below if you have, you know, if you have questions about something that you may, you know, you don't understand.
And don't be ashamed. Sometimes when they're at that point when they don't want to believe that their child has disabilities, they wind up allowing their child to be placed in the wrong setting.
Right.
And it doesn't affect the parent, and it's affecting the child. And the child struggles.
Right.
You know, and the child is not getting the proper resources. Physical therapy, OT, speech therapy, counseling, like as needed.
Right.
You know?
I feel for those parents who are embarrassed or ashamed of their child that has disability, then you should simply just pass off your responsibilities to someone who's willing to accommodate and treat the child as such. Because if you're embarrassed, it's some sort of hatred. You're not going to do your best for that child, even if it is your own child. As a parent, you always want the best for your kids. So if that's not for you, pass it off.
Never be embarrassed. Never be embarrassed because it's you know, you gotta learn how to like live with what God gave you.
In the United States, in New York City, there are tons of programs that can help you if you don't have the knowledge, if you don't know, if you're not educated. There's so many classes that you can take that they offer for you 9 times out of 10 for free.
Right.
So you just have to be willing to receive it and be willing to learn and be willing to help your child.
A lot of schools offer like I know like in my school we have Saturday Academy, and it's just for children, for parents who have children with special needs, and they give the parents classes on how to deal and manage
But
the
how
child.
many parents come out of all the kids
That's
that go to
the
the
thing.
school?
Not a lot.
That's the thing. You have
If
to be
it's
willing.
like 6 or 7, that's it.
That's not good. Because
We
how
have-
many
we have
kids
5
are in the
schools.
school?
We have 5 schools, and in my school alone is 100 and something kids.
See what I mean? That's not good. That's not good.
Yeah, we have 5 schools in the whole organization.
It's not good. That means as a parent, you're not willing to take the extra step to learn
To
about
learn.
more about it.
And it's free.
And that also
Free
means
babysitting.
if your child didn't have these disabilities, you still wouldn't be pushing your child to do the best.
True.
To me.
It's true. It's true. It's true.
Come on. If your child has this disorder and you're not willing to educate yourself about it, to be able to deal with it, then if your child was a normal child, would you be pushing them to get all A's or, you know, like what would you be doing?
I just feel like people just gotta be more aware, and you gotta want more for your child to help your child.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, you know, you gotta do better. We have to do better as a community to help people dealing with it. And for parents that don't understand, you gotta be willing to go get the help.
Yes. Yes. We want to make sure that you guys are following Zaya_365 on Instagram, and he's Isaiah Williams on Facebook. You can purchase his t-shirts on
T-shirts,
Instagram.
look, show your shirt.
T-shirts, yes. Follow, promote, like, subscribe, guys, please. And with that being said, I'm Sid,
I'm Twin.
and we're out.